I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, welcome everyone. Just a reminder to please turn cell phones off if you have them. Can we have roll call, Miranda?
Mayor Bain?
Here.
Councilor Gatto? Councilor Lundstrom?
Here.
Councilor Scalisi?
Here.
Councilor Sherman?
Yes, here. Sorry.
Councilor Stradlin? Councilor Strout?
Here.
Okay, number 3, approval of minutes. We've all had a chance to look at the minutes for the regular meeting of July 27th. Are there any corrections? Okay, hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the minutes as submitted?
So, I'd so move.
Okay, we have
I know. I'll second that.
we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Councilor Lundstrom?
Yes.
Councilor Strout?
Yes.
Councilor Scalisi?
Yes.
Councilor Sherman?
Yes.
Mayor Bain?
Yes. Visitors and delegations, we don't have anybody scheduled. Does anyone would like to publicly comment tonight? Okay, moving to number 5, resolution number 2020-8, a resolution containing findings of fact, conclusions, and order granting the application of Cellular Inc. Network Corporation, DBA Verizon Wireless, for special use permit to construct and operate a freestanding commercial mobile radio system cellular tower on residential low-density zone land. Rick?
So bear with me, I'm going to read it. It's kind of 4 pages, so.
Okay.
All right, resolution number 2020-8, a resolution containing findings of fact, conclusions, and order granting the application of Cellular Inc. Network Corp. Doing business as Verizon Wireless for a special use permit to construct and operate a freestanding commercial mobile radio system cellular tower on residential low-density zone land. Whereas this matter came before the City Council on July 27, 2020 for public hearing about the application of Cellular Inc. Network Corp. Doing business as Verizon Wireless. Whereas Cellular Inc. applied for a special use permit to construct and operate a freestanding monopine commercial mobile radio system cellular tower on residential low-density RLW zone lands situated between the north side of the Brush Cemetery. Whereas, after hearing the report of city staff, statements of Verizon Wireless, and members of the public regarding the application and being fully advised, the City Council has determined to approve the application. Now, therefore, be it hereby resolved by the City Council of the City of Brush that there's 4 points. The original application was filed on March 26, 2018, and reapplied June 9, 2020. Publication of the notice of the public hearing was made more than 15 days prior to the date of hearing in the Brush News Tribune. The property was posted at least 15 days prior to the hearing and remained posted to the date of the hearing. The City of Brush is the owner of the parcel, the 7.21 acre, and it gives the details of the parcel. Also known as 1323 Mill Street, Brush, Colorado. Number 5, the permit is requested to construct and operate a freestanding monopine commercial mobile radio tower facility on the 7.21 acre parcel of residential low-density zone lands located north of the columbarium within the north side of the Brush Cemetery. Number 6, Verizon Wireless is proposing to construct and operate a monopine cellular tower that will be 60 foot in height plus 5 foot lightning rod with 12 panel antennas, 12 remote radio heads, and 2 OVPs, which are surge protectors. The monopine structure will not require guy wires, and all cables will be located inside the monopine. Additional equipment includes 2 equipment cabinets to be located on the elevated platform with a 36 foot by 25 foot area, along with a 30 kilowatt generator, all of which will be surrounded by a 6 foot fence, as shown on the attached sheets that were submitted. The tax base of the city is expected to increase with the construction and operation of the facility. Number 8, that was 7. Number 8, the council gave verbal approval of the application on July 27, 2020, and this resolution institutes formal and final action for approval of the permit. Based on the preceding findings, the City Council concludes that issuance of a special use permit for the construction and operation of a freestanding monopine commercial mobile radio cellular tower in the residential low-density area of the 7.21 acre parcel of land located at the north. This is all the same thing. Sorry, it's repeating, redundant. I'll go on. Accordingly, the permit should be subject to the following conditions. There were 10 conditions that we agreed upon. The applicant must have a signed lease for use of the land prior to beginning construction. That dealt with all of the fees that we were going to charge, which was $18,000 in total, $1,500 a month. So that was part of it. And then the changing of the easement that they were going to do to make sure that we were not going to hit underground wires. So that's part of the signed lease. Number 2, in the event of the construction of the facility is not completed within the 12 months of this issuance of the special use permit, the approvals granted in this permit will be deemed repealed. The matter does not need to be reappeared before the City Council for such repeal to be effective. Number 3, out of the 10, a copy of the final FAA determination must be submitted to the city before a building permit will be issued. Number 4, maximum allowed height of the tower is 65 feet, and that excludes the lightning rod. There was a change in there. Number 5, construction plans must be prepared by the Colorado licensed engineer and must demonstrate compliance with the state minimum standards for this type of construction. Number 6, any equipment building must be painted a neutral color approved by the city, which blends with the surrounding area. Number 7, signage is limited to a 4-foot sign attached to either the fence or the ground equipment. Number 8, if the security fence will be locked, a Knox box for emergency access must be installed on the site as required by the fire department. Number 9, notice of the sale of or change in the operations company must be provided to the city. Number 10, CMRS facilities which are abandoned by disconnection of power service, equipment removal, or loss of lease for greater than 6 months shall be removed by the CMRS facility owner within 30 days of the expiration of such time limit. The acceptance of this permit, including all the conditions set out therein, and the operation of the freestanding monopine commercial mobile radio system cellular tower thereunder shall be deemed an agreement on the part of VERIZON Wires and its affiliates to hold the City of Brush harmless from any and all liability in connection therewith, and to indemnify the city for any liability, damages, or expenses, including its reasonable attorney fees. The conditions of this permit may be amended from time to time upon the request of VERIZON Wireless or by the City Council under the same procedures as required for the issuance of a special use permit in the first instance. It is therefore ordered that the application of VERIZON Wireless for the issuance of a special use permit to construct and operate a freestanding monopine commercial mobile radio system cellular tower on the lands described above and same thereby granted subject to the conditions specified above. It is further ordered that, this is last page by the way, it is further ordered that VERIZON Wireless shall comply with all such conditions, and that the non-compliance therewithin or with any other part of this permit may constitute grounds for immediate revocation by the City Council as provided by the Land Use Code. It is further ordered that VERIZON Wireless shall reimburse the city for all reasonable administrative costs incurred by the city, including its attorney fees, and acting upon the application of the special use permit within 30 days of submission of a statement therefore to VERIZON Wireless. It is further ordered that all prior resolutions relating to special use permits for the subject property, if any be, and the same thereby are repealed, passed, adopted, and approved at a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Brush on this 27th day of July 2020. And it's for your signature, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Any questions?
I have a question. So you said the maximum height, that was just confusing. Maximum height is 65 feet. Wouldn't that include the lightning rod?
It
Yes.
does.
Yeah.
But you
They
said
said 60.
I said maximum height of 60, not counting. So it's the same
Okay.
thing.
Yeah.
It's 65 feet total.
Okay. 'Cause I
60
thought you
feet with a
said
tower plus a
65
5-foot lightning
feet
rod.
excluding the lightning rod,
Correct.
which would imply that they could add another 5-foot lightning rod on top of it.
Yeah.
No, am I just,
That's okay, let me check.
It was the very first page.
well, it was when you were going through those 10 conditions, I think.
Yeah.
Because the first time you said it, it said 60 feet plus the 5-foot lightning rod.
Yeah.
But then it said 65.
Okay, number 6, Verizon Wireless is proposing to construct and operate a monopine cellular tower that will be 60 foot in height plus a 5-foot lightning rod. So maybe it was in a
So
different
after
section.
that, yeah, a different
Okay.
section.
All right, and number 4, on page 3, maximum allowed height for the tower is 60 feet. No, it's supposed to be 65 feet excluding, so yes, you're right. It's supposed
So
to
it
be
should say
65, and I have 60, so.
65 feet excluding?
The lightning
It
rod.
should be 60 feet excluding the lightning, or 60 feet, no, because 65 feet would
Yeah,
include the lightning
maximum
rod.
allowed height for the tower is 60 feet excluding the lightning rod.
Okay,
That's what it's supposed to be, and I need
Okay.
to make it, because I have 60, but we have parentheses 65, and I think that's what threw
oh,
out.
okay.
Okay, so as far as a motion on the resolution we have, we would need that motion to clarify that change. Is that correct, Dan?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, with that, I would entertain a motion on the resolution.
I move we approve the resolution 2020-8, including the clarification of the height of the tower.
Okay, have a motion to approve with a clarification on the height. Do we have a second?
Second.
Kevin seconds. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Scalise,
Yes.
Counselor Lundstrom,
Yes.
Counselor Sherman,
Yes.
Counselor Stroud,
Yes.
Mayor Bain.
Yes. Good catch. Okay, moving on to 5B, Verizon Wireless Land Lease Agreement Amendment. Rick again.
So these are 2 documents that were from their attorney, are the formal documents to sign. Basically, I kind of did cover a little bit. I think you got one of them still. This is just one. Is there 2 of them? Okay. There's supposed to be 2 of these. The first, it says First Amendment to Land Lease Agreement. This first amendment to land building and rooftop lease agreement amendment is made between and entered unto this day, it'll be today, with the City of Brush, Colorado, and Municipality Corporation with its principal offices located at 600 Edison Street, Brush. Therein after designated leaser and ComNet Cellular Incorporated doing business as Verizon Wireless and its principal offices at 1 Verizon Way, Mail Stop 4A, such forth. Therein designated leasee, leaser and leasee are at times collectively referred and therein after as parties or individuals a party. The recitals, a leaser and leasee are parties to that certain land lease agreement recorded October 26, 2018, which this is the one that they originally gave me, and I wonder if we have to ask them if it needs to be corrected to the new date, which was the last meeting. So we need to ask them about that, because this says
So-
October 26th.
This, because it's not a finding of fact, we don't necessarily need to read the entire thing into the record.
Okay,
We just want to summarize for council, you know, this is the property that's being leased and it's pursuant to the special use permit. That should be sufficient.
Okay.
If you have questions, of course.
Okay.
feel free to ask me.
so the summary of this is to draw your attention to Exhibit B1, which is the showing where the easement it changed, of where they're going to be
Right.
digging. That's the whole article for this
Mhm.
point.
Okay. Okay. I'll look for a motion on this item.
I would move to approve the land lease agreement amendment.
Okay, we have a motion to approve.
Second.
Larry, second. Any further discussion on the lease? Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Sherman,
Yes.
Counselor Lundstrom,
Yes.
Counselor Scalise,
Yes.
Counselor Stroud,
Yes.
Mayor Bain.
Yes. Okay, moving on to finance.
I move we approve disbursements and payroll from July 28th to August 10th, 2020 in the amount of $1,339,178.70.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second?
Second, Dan. Discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Stroud?
Yes.
Counselor Lundstrom?
Yes.
Counselor Sherman?
Yes.
Counselor Scalise?
Yes.
Mayor Bay?
Yes. Number 7, staff reports. Assistant City Administrator Rick Roglian.
Lucky me tonight.
Yeah.
So, just in a nutshell, still doing predominantly planning and looking at building permits and things like that. It's probably the majority that I do, and I've been helping Randy do lots of tours and seeing, evaluating certain properties, and so getting very familiar with the codes, and so enjoying that. But want to highlight 2 things that I've been working on, and both of these are really in conjunction with Matt. Together, we've been doing a lot of projects, and so 2 things I highlight: the Reopen Safe, Reopen Strong Business Recovery Grant. Many of y'all are already familiar with that. Just wanted to give you just the rundown of how many applications we received and what people are asking for. So total, we have 10 applications. So that was really good. We had like 3 up until just a couple days ago. So that's good that we have 10 that's been submitted. The total amount that's been requested for all 10 are $44,200. And the types of grant, the categories, so here's how they've been requested. Loan payoff, we have 5. We have 2 that are indoor-outdoor infrastructure modifications. We have 5 that are PPE purchases, reimbursement. And then we've had 10 that are operational expense oriented. And then we have none at home business interruption and none for liquor license reimbursement. So we're going to be meeting on Wednesday. There's a committee that's me, Matt, Clay from Colorado Bank, and Kristen from Economic Development from the county. So we're going to all get together and go through all of these and review them and decide which ones. Hopefully, we would do all of them if they applied correctly and everything's satisfactory. So that's what we've been doing, and that's exciting. I do feel that we're probably going to need a second round, because I've talked to many people even over the weekend that didn't hear it, or it wasn't enough time for them to get their information and stuff together in order to apply. So don't be surprised when we come back and there'll be a round 2 for this.
Okay.
The second thing, just to highlight, that Matt and I also have been working on is a READY grant, and it will be for refurbishing, renovating, and remarketing the Brush State Wildlife Area at the Chartier Pond. We have submitted the grant for $15,000, and it's basically to beautify the trails. We have this natural resource in our backyard, in a sense, and it could be a great opportunity to encourage our locals to use it, and also it could be a destination for out-of-town tourists to come see one of the best bird watching places in the whole East. And so we feel like it could be a great opportunity to use the funds to spruce up that whole area, and also bring some collaboration with other entities who want to be part of it. So we think that it would ultimately give people a reason to come to Brush, and maybe stay and shop and dine and do other things too. So those are 2 things that we've been working on, and it's been good stuff. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. Police Chief Derek Boss.
Good evening. I have more sad news. I have another resignation. The officer will be, last day is Friday. So haven't done an exit interview yet with him, but I do know this is predominantly family related for him, and he is moving out of state. So that leaves us short. We're down 4 now, including the position that is grant funded by the JAG grant. So we have 2 going to the academy this fall and 2 more openings. Along with that, I met with the sheriff and the interim chief from Fort Morgan Police Department a week ago, and we looked at the numbers on the SWAT team within the county and the loss that has suffered, and so our SWAT team is now no longer operational either. And that is probably for a while as we get guys through training and get back up and running with the SWAT team. We do have agreements right now with Weld County, Adams County, and Greeley Police Department to fill the gap. All 3 of them have SWAT teams, and they're happy to help out. So that's where we're at. It's just a longer drive. And then the last thing that we're working on is technology. Trying to fill in the gaps, especially with the loss of officers and the new laws coming out for body-worn cameras and whatnot. Probably in the next 2 weeks, we are going to be demoing a online reporting system for free, and that will give us the option, since we don't have officers available all the time now because they are very busy, that will give us the option to have citizens go online and actually fill out some police reports for simple things. So a great example, you lose your license plate off your car. Instead of an officer going to your house, you can just go online, fill out all the information, and it's easier for both, hopefully a little more hassle-free. On our end, we still get all that information. We still do follow-up investigation as needed, but it takes the burden off the officers of going to somebody's house for the first time. Also with that, we're looking at how can we long-term kind of supplement our staff with technology options as well. So that's all I got.
Is that gonna be a lot for someone to go through, Chief, those people that are filling out forms? I have an uncle that's gonna send you one every other day about a speeding car. I can tell you that right now.
So this is not a complaint system per se. This would be more of an actual, something happened to me, I'm the property owner type of a thing. It's different than, hey, there's a speeding car, can you guys pay attention to that? So it'd be a little more in-depth for the average person. They have to enter a lot more information. Probably not to the point that they want to do that for somebody jaywalking, but an actual crime or something in that respect.
So the two officers that we have going through training, Monty and I talked about that a little bit, they should be ready by the end of the year?
They'll be through the academy in mid-December.
Okay,
And then after that, they still have 3 to 3.5 months of field training.
okay.
So realistically, they'll be on their own by March.
So will we be trying to recruit for a new officer right away then?
Yes,
Okay,
we are.
okay.
How many people are Morgan and the county down? Do you know?
I do not know, sir.
Okay, just curious.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Let's see, Joanne Gosling, Finance Director.
So I have one item this evening, and that is to make sure council understands or knows that at the next council meeting on the 24th, that Scott Zalbo, who is the city's auditor, will be here, and he will present the audit to the Finance Committee, and I'm asking that you come at 5:15 instead of 5:30. Because that way, if you have questions, then that'll give us enough time to get through it by 6 p.m. And the other counselors, if you would like to join us on that date, we would love to have you, because he will not come in and present to the full council. He'll just present to finance,
Okay.
is what we've done in the past. I do have audits I already have the audits. They'll be passed out that night unless one of you really wants to peruse it, or any of you, I should say, want to really peruse it and look it over so you have all kinds of questions for him. You're more than welcome to pick it up in my office at any time.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you, Joe. Matt Gordon, best and brightest.
I don't have anything to report tonight.
Okay, moving on, Loranda Packard, City Clerk.
I just have one thing. The CML conference that's taking place the 25th through the 27th of this month, they have a registration deadline of the 18th. So just as a reminder, I know I've brought it up now about 3 or 4 times, but if you want to attend, just let me know.
All right, thank you. Dan Krob, City Attorney.
I don't have anything, but here for questions if you have any.
Okay. City Administrator, Monty Torres.
Okay, a few items. The first one, in regards to the Quiet Zone project on Hospital Road, still awaiting a contract or an agreement from the railroad. And we went through and looked at it, and everyone's good with it. But then it has to go through their contracting department to get the signatures. And 2 weeks ago, I heard that this last week ought to be receiving it through DocuSign, but I still haven't received it yet. So I'll give them a few more days and then give them a holler and see if there's an issue with that or not. Once that comes into play and it's sent back and we have a signed copy from both sides, then they will set up a day where they meet with city staff and our engineer working on this to look at the site and talk about what's out there, and then they'll go off and study a little bit more and come up with a cost estimate of what it's going to cost to put in that quiet zone. The other thing is we do have a city rental property, a couple city rental properties, and this one's been vacant for probably about 4 to 5 months now. And our understanding is the rentor is not planning on coming back, and we're trying to get them to sign notice that they're going to vacate the property so that we can go in, clean it up, and determine what fixes need to take place, and then also if we're wanting to sell the property or to rent out the property again. So we haven't been too successful in getting that notice to vacate back from the current renter, and so give them another week, and then I'll be visiting with Dan, talk about what our options are. It's a little different today after the COVID in regards to having houses vacated.
Oh, yeah,
So
you
we
can't
gotta-
really just evict them.
Yeah, so we have to figure out what that process is.
Okay.
But one of the bigger concerns is you need to figure it out, because pretty soon vandalism is going to take place. Soon we're going to be coming into the winter months and frozen pipes and all that stuff. We just want to make sure the house is taken care of.
So do they just abandon it?
Health
Or-
reasons left and haven't come back yet.
Hmm.
Cemetery trees, that I discussed that last council meeting, and I believe most of those, or all of them, may be cut down already. Larry might have been talking about them, how it looks pretty open in there in the cemetery. But they are gonna plant some more trees there and put up a white vinyl fence there as well. Imagine the trees, we'll wait till we get through the hot spell and then put in some during September, October to hopefully have them make it through the winter time. And then we did advertise for a water planner position. We'll be working underneath Del Colrick and learning a lot about the water department, but also looking at different projects for the future to acquire more water for the city. So that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Monty. Moving on to mayor and council reports. Does anyone have anything to report? Nope. I have one thing to report, and I'm sorry to report this. I met with John Gatto on August 6th, and he let me know that he's made the decision to resign his council seat effective immediately due to health reasons. He asked me to go ahead and give these letters to the council members. I've given Monty and Miranda also a copy that he wanted to give to us, and he wanted to express, let's see, this is Justin Dana, and also Jack, he has a letter for the reporter. But he did express that he's enjoyed his time on council, working with all the city employees and council members. And I know I speak as one when we say we've enjoyed having John as a council member, and we wish him and his family the best. Larry mentioned something about possibly doing something for John, some sort of card for him and his family. And I think, Joe, you said the golf course is a nice place they like to go. So maybe we can.
If you're doing
Okay.
a dinner, that's probably a good spot. It's a
Okay.
little bit more private.
All right. So that will mean, Lorenda and I have already met. We've talked about, we'll go through this process that we did 6 months ago. We brought Kevin aboard, so we'll work through that process. And I think we'll give the public at least 30 days to know that we have a vacancy on council. And we'll seek input from the community as to who would like to take that seat. And we'll have interviews and we'll make a decision. So regret to give everyone that news. Let's see, with that, we'll go ahead and look for a motion to go into our executive session.
All right. I move that we go into executive session pursuant to Colorado Revised Statutes, Title 24, Article 6, Section 402, and subsection 4A, to discuss the matter of purchase, acquisition, lease, transfer, or sale of any real, personal, or other property interest. Also pursuant to Colorado Revised Statutes, Title 24, Article 6, Section 402, and subsection 4E, determining positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiations, developing strategy for negotiations, and instructing negotiators. The matter to be discussed is the purchase of water shares for City of Brush use.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor.
And I second that.
Larry seconds
Larry.
that. All right, any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Counselor Sherman?
Yes.
Counselor Scalise?
Yes.
Counselor Stroud?
Yes.
Counselor Lundstrom?
Yes.
Mayor Bain?
Yes. Okay, with that, the motion is approved with 2/3 majority, so we will now move into executive session.